This is why we can't have nice things. Eddie from Totally Wired Guitars here, and I wanted to discuss a topic that is near and dear to my heart because for as long as I've been in this whole guitar repair, guitar setup game, one of my favorite pastimes has been putting together parts casters, and in particular, putting together parts casters from genuine Fender parts. And that just became a lot harder in 2025. Now, if you are a seasoned veteran of building parts casters, again, from genuine Fender parts, you will probably know the name of one of, if not the biggest player in the game, and that is our boy, Stratosphere. Now, if you go to the Stratosphere's page on eBay, you probably know him by heart at this point, because he is the biggest seller of genuine Fender aftermarket parts. These are not B stock parts, unlike MIRC or Franklin Guitar Works, who sell aftermarket parts that, they have refurbished directly from Fender. I am not sure what the source is for Stratosphere's parts, but he used to be one of the most amazing shops for you to find virtually any Fender part you were looking for, whether that be bodies, necks, pickups, electronics, cases, anything that you can think of that is genuine Fender. Stratosphere had it. And at the beginning of 2025, before Donald Trump had taken office and before all of this tariff madness had begun, we saw a dramatic increase in prices, particularly of US made Fender offset guitar parts. And I was shocked and also disappointed because this had been my go to source if I wanted to put together an offset guitar, for example, a Johnny Marr Jaguar or an AV2 or an AV65 Jazzmaster. Over the years, I could always count on the Stratosphere for me being able to put the guitar together a la carte and still come in under the new price of one of those guitars. But now the game has changed. So if we take a look at the pricing right now for an American vintage 66 Jazzmaster neck, you will notice the price is now basically $1,000 because it's $979.99 with $20 shipping, and then you're going to add taxes to that, and you're going to be coming in over $1,000. Now, just a few months ago, you were able to get one of these necks for only $599. So we are seeing an over $400 price increase here, right? And again, this was right at the end of 2024 that I had ordered this neck. And this was for a personal build. This is what went on to my charcoal frost AV2 custom build, and a new nitro finished American-made Fender neck from the Stratosphere is now over $1,000. If we take a look also at other offset guitar parts that people were commonly buying, Stratosphere over the years has constantly had Johnny Marr Jaguar bodies, and you could buy them body alone. You could buy them like this one with the hardware preloaded, and these usually will come with a certificate of authenticity. And then you can buy them fully loaded with the pickups and the hardware and electronics and everything. And now it costs $1,100, over $1,100 to buy one from the Stratosphere, when just a few months ago, this was late fall or early fall 2024, these were constantly going for only $700. Again, an over $400 price increase, and there's nothing we can really do about it. Now, why is this happening right now? It definitely isn't the tariffs because these are US made products, right? Now, I'm not sure what exactly the Stratosphere's business model is, and especially at the prices that they were before, I always wondered how in the world the Stratosphere was turning a profit. I've guessed in the past that the Stratosphere was buying these parts direct from Fender, not as built guitars, and in that he was not only getting dealer pricing for these guitars, but also additional discounts perhaps by buying them as parts instead of as assembled guitars. But some other folks told me that the business model is most likely that he is buying these guitars, whether it be from Fender, Gibson, or any of the other guitar companies that the Stratosphere has parts for, buying them at dealer prices and then paying his team of workers to disassemble the guitars bit by bit and then list them individually. Now, if it isn't the tariffs and it isn't the current economy, why now? Why raise the price now? And I have a good guess as to why that is. And this is the reason most of the time why we cannot have nice things. And what that is, my biggest guess, is because of resellers. I like to call them scalpers. They're folks that will get in on auctions or they will get in on reasonably priced goods like those that had been from Stratosphere. And like this loaded Johnny Marr pickguard with the bare knuckle pickups being priced at $649 when the Stratosphere was constantly selling these things at $299. So that is over 2 times the price. You will see these kinds of resellers all the time. This is another example here. We've got a Johnny Marr Jaguar case for $349 from this reseller when you could buy these direct from Stratosphere for only $179. So again, 2 times the cost. And I get it. I get it, folks. You know, it's a dog eat dog world. But the sad part about all of this is that it no longer makes a go-to seller like Stratosphere really a reasonable route to go if you are trying to piece together a guitar. It just doesn't pay. Because if we take a look at how much it costs for, say, an American Vintage 2 1966 reissue Jazzmaster body, Stratosphere is now selling them loaded for $1,300, right? And then let's say you wanted to get a neck, you're looking again at $1,000. So now you are already at $2,400 and you still don't have the case. You don't get any of the case candy. You don't have the warranty, the limited warranty that Fender gives you if you buy direct from them or if you buy from Sweetwater or Guitar Center. So you don't have that because you're basically putting together, even if they are parts that match from the same exact guitar, you do not have the provenance of that guitar. And so you lose out. And you are better off in this instance looking at the used market because rather than pay $2,400 to try to piece together, your own genuine American Vintage 2 Jazzmaster, you can go somewhere like Guitar Center or Reverb or any one of the forums and find them used pretty consistently around the $1,700 mark. That is how much they've been going for as of late. This was a good avenue for folks who wanted to save money. For example, back in the day, if you knew that you were already going to be swapping out certain parts, like the stock pickups, for example, maybe you wanted a mastery bridge instead of the stock American Vintage 2 bridge, you could save money, potentially put together an American Vintage 2 Jazzmaster, just the husk of it, for only like, I don't know, like 1,200 bucks last year and the years before that. But now, to do the same exact thing, it's just unfortunately the prices are unreasonable. So at the end of the day, I really do think it is the resellers who are to blame. They're no different to me than ticket scalpers who get in. They usually have bots. I remember when I was trying to buy the Johnny Marr loaded pick guard and control plates and all of that, it took me months before I was able to actually get one. I had to wake up at something like 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, set an alarm, and check every day for like a good, 2, 3 weeks before I was finally able to snag one because these resellers are insane. They usually employ the use of bots and like bot type websites to make sure that, especially for auctions, that they are able to be the first and the top bidder when it comes to eBay, at least. When it comes to buy it now items, those bots will immediately snatch those items up on behalf of the seller. So it left all of the folks who are just looking to build guitars for themselves out in the dust. And then the only option that you have is to pay double what they had paid. And another thing that is a bit sad about this is that now everybody who is selling their own aftermarket parts, maybe they didn't like the Johnny Marr neck or they didn't like the American Vintage 2 neck and they want to go and sell it. They are now going to be referencing the Stratosphere's prices, right? Because of the rare availability of these parts, they're now going to be referencing and maybe even trying to hike up the price even more due to their rarity. I just wish there was enough to go around for everybody so that this wasn't a thing. I get it. It's the game of supply and demand. It's capitalism at its finest, but what are you going to do? In a way, I don't blame the Stratosphere. Perhaps this was a move by them to kind of put a stop to these resellers taking advantage of their fair and reasonable prices. I haven't seen as much of that as a result, but you will, occasionally still see. Now, instead of $1,000, those resellers are going to try to make an extra 500 on top and try to sell them for 1,500. But again, it has to make sense. It has to make sense. And if you are selling a loaded body for 1,500 bucks plus a loaded neck for 1,500 bucks, the guitar new is not $3,000. It makes no sense. So I guess that is partially the silver lining to this, that these folks hopefully will no longer be taking advantage in the same way. But I hope in the future that somehow, some way, we can have nice things, that people can play fair because I don't know, I guess making a business around buying things up that are meant to be sold directly to the consumer. But I mean, again, take a look. Take a look at the Nintendo Switch 2 and take a look at these god dang Pokemon cards. Still, it's 2025 and people are still fighting each other at Costco for friggin' Pokemon cards. It's insanity. It's insanity. And I just wish it would stop so that we can have nice things, so that we can put together our, our reasonably priced parts casters and enjoy and play them. And most likely for a lot of folks, keep them, if not forever, for a very, very long time, because we're not in the business of just buying things just to flip. Anyway, that's all I got for you folks today. What do you guys think? Are you as sad as I am at this dramatic price increase from the Stratosphere? Definitely let me know down in the comments. And if you have any alternate sources for where to buy reasonably priced, genuine Fender parts that are good and not refurbished and not in, danger of potentially coming with frozen truss rods or other really, really hard to fix damage that you would have to take a chance on sight unseen, and definitely let me know down in the comments. As always, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to be notified of new videos as soon as they drop. And don't forget to follow Totally Wired Guitars for more offset guitars buying tips.